Um, Hello everybody, this is BScat100 and welcome back to some more BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. In the previous episode, we had finished up Jin's story once and for all on the Island of Rankings in the gag ending. I'm not gonna explain it, just go and look for yourself if you're that interested. In this episode, we are gonna be moving on to Tsubaki's story, and it seems that Tsubaki's story is a little tricky in terms of working around, so I'm just gonna have to work with it. Oh, fuck! Don't worry about me. We're just gonna go into it. So, if you'd like to see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, share, click that bell so you're notified of everything that I do when I do it, and share with your friends so they can join in on this adventure. I don't know what I just said, I just kind of blacked out for a couple seconds. Let's get started, shall we? Tsubaki. Regret Sin.
Excuse me. First Lieutenant Tsubaki Yayoi, reporting for duty.
So we are just, like, tacking right on to the end of, Calamity Trigger.
Yes, hello there. I'm Hazama. I work for the Intelligence Department. It is a pleasure to meet you. So this is the famous daughter of the Yayoi family. Please, accept my apologies for making you come all the way out here. Yes, how rude of me. Let's see. Well, I guess officially I'm a captain. But to be honest, we don't really bother much with ranks here at Intelligence, so don't worry about formality, okay?
Yeah, excuse me, Captain.
Come on, didn't I just say you don't need to be so stiff? Well. Anyway, the reason I've called you here is because I need you to take care of something very sensitive. A sort of covert operation.
Is this an order from the Intelligence Department?
Huh? Ah, yes. I see where you're going. Please, don't worry about that. I know what your little team is for, First Lieutenant. I wouldn't bring you in for run-of-the-mill intel work. No. This is actually a direct order from the top. HQ, the Imperator. Proof? Yes, of course you'd want proof. Well, here, take a look. See? The seal of the Imperator.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to question you.
I told you not to worry. It's not a big deal, really. All right, shall we try this again? If you don't mind, I'll just, tell you your orders. Like I said, this is covert, so it's better not to leave a paper trail, you know. Where was... Ah, yes. It's not really anything that difficult, but it is, how should I...
Sir!
All right, then. First Lieutenant Tsubaki Yayoi. Your orders are as follows. Determine the whereabouts of Major Jin Kisaragi and Lieutenant Noel Vermillion and terminate them.
Jesus Christ, I forgot, there's more. There's more. Cut off at her questioning side there. Hazuma's words left Tsubaki at a loss for her own. The man before her had just asked her to kill one of her best friends from the academy, and the man she adored as a brother since childhood.
What did they do to deserve...
Tsubaki had built her career on unquestioning obedience and dedication to duty. To anyone other than Hazuma, her response would have been nothing short of shocking. And again, what person alive could keep their voice from trembling and being ordered to kill their friends?
Let's see here. It looks like the intelligence we've gathered says that Major Kisaragi has disobeyed orders on a number of occasions. And we've even seen reports of desertion. Supposedly, he was injured pretty seriously going after a large bounty.
That's impossible. How could Jin, Major Kisaragi, he would never.
Right, yes. We've also seen a number of reports saying that he's just been stirring up a lot of trouble. And, let's see.
Don't act fucking coy, Hazama. You know exactly what you were doing. I got some wires tangled here that I had to deal with.
Well, we haven't managed to confirm this yet, but apparently he escaped from the hospital we'd put him in after his accident. He also, took out a number of guards and a few officers on his way out. Now, as for Lieutenant Vermillion, she went after Major Kisaragi. Well, actually, she was under orders to do that, but... Ah, here we are. We've heard reports that she aided the SS-class bounty known as the Grim Reaper. Ah, yes, this Grim Reaper is also apparently the person who caused Major Kisaragi's injuries and is, in fact, at the very top of the Librarium's most wanted list. The rebel Ragna the Blood Edge.
Jin deserted. And Noelle is helping a rebel?
The color slowly drained from Tsubaki's face. She couldn't bring herself to believe what she was hearing.
Apparently, Major Kisaragi and Lieutenant Vermillion have some sort of connection to this Blood Edge fellow. Is something wrong? Stay with me now. Oh, actually, I guess that's all of it. You're free to go, First Lieutenant.
Still stunned, Tsubaki saluted automatically and walked towards the door, feeling only partially in control of her body. She was almost at the door when she heard Hazama's voice from behind her.
Oh, right. There's one more little thing I forgot to mention. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, please, don't forget to bring back Major Kisaragi's Yukihanasa and Lieutenant Vermillion's Bulwark, okay? Ah, silly me. Actually, two things. You don't need to bother bringing their bodies back. They're traitors, so there won't be any sort of ceremony. I mean, to be honest, having a couple of corpses around would just kind of get in the way.
Tsubaki bit her lip at the man's words, but kept silent. Without so much as a nod or salute, she walked out of the room.
Oh, man! This is just too good! We're just gonna shoot right past tragedy, straight into good old comedy!
That's not how this works. Tsubaki left the doors to Captain Hazama's office closed behind her and fell back against them, her strength gone. She felt dizzy, and thoughts flitted in and out of her mind before she could grab hold of them.
What am I gonna do? Jin. Noelle.
Excuse me. Do you mind?
Oh, you. The voice had startled Tsubaki out of her trance, and she looked... Tsubaki out of her trance, and she looked up to see a man towering over her. She knew the man. Well, she knew his face. He was known throughout the Librarium for being a master puppeteer, as well as for more unpleasant things. She had never met him in person before. She had hoped perhaps she never would.
Aurelius. Clover. Colonel. From engineering.
Tsubaki remembered the man's name, searching through her memories to piece together what she knew about him. He was tall, incredibly so, in fact. If he was surprised Tsubaki recognized him, he kept it to himself. He stared down at her, his face impassive.
Miss, if you'd be so kind as to get out of my way, I need to get through that door.
I'm sorry.
Quickly, Tsubaki moved out of his way, but Relis didn't even acknowledge her. He simply strode forward into Captain Hazama's office as though he'd taken a moment to collect his thoughts, not wait for a girl to move out of his way.
It's me. I'm coming in.
What could possibly be going on between the two of them?
Something about how Captain Hazama working with Colonel Relius made Tsubaki uneasy.
Hazama, are you ready? I can leave at any time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you just give me 3 more minutes? I just haven't been able to bring myself to get ready. In fact, I...
Quit procrastinating. But I can't believe it's Kagutsuchi. That place brings back so many memories. I believe that the 13th Prime Field has...
Tsubaki could just make out the conversation through the crack in the door. Certainly interesting, and something told her what they were discussing was of great importance, but eavesdropping, especially on 2 ranking officers, was just something Tsubaki couldn't allow herself to do. Besides, there were much more important things on her mind. Doing her best to silence the doubt that filled her mind, at least for the time being, Tsubaki turned her back to Hazama's office and began walking.
The House of Yayoi had served the Imperator loyally for as long as anyone could remember, and had produced many of the librarian's most loyal and elite soldiers. They were proud and dignified, and many of them held up as a shining example of what one of the duodecim could and should be. The Yayoi family was set apart from many of the other duodecim by the purity of their bloodline. When the librarian grades the abilities of their soldiers, many factors are considered, but none carries so much weight as one's aptitude for the use of Armagus. Their only thought, servitude of the Imperator, the Yayoi family turned their considerable resources to producing offspring with exceptional Armagus aptitude. The Yayoi family bred their children with only the best Armagus wielders, ensuring the strength of the next generation. However, the breeding pool from which they could select was quite small, and before long it became necessary to resort to inbreeding. As time passed, the House of Yayoi filled with the best wielders of Armagus the world had to offer, and their power, both physical and political, far outstripped that of the other families of the duodecim. Their glory was to be short-lived, however. Generations of inbreeding began to take their toll, and children were born weaker and weaker. The purity of blood that had once been the greatest strength of the House of Yayoi was now its greatest weakness. Such was the family into which Tsubaki was born. Although she was treated as her parents' firstborn daughter, she was anything but. She was merely the first daughter to survive. Her siblings had all passed away, victims of their own pure blood and frail bodies. By some miracle, Tsubaki did not share their weakened constitution. She was healthy and showed mastery in the use of the Armagus. Needless to say, she was cherished not only by her parents, but by the whole of the Yayoi family. To the young Tsubaki, the Yayoi Manor was her entire world. The only people she knew were her parents, her relatives, and her teachers. As a firstborn daughter of the Yayoi family, she was taught one simple truth: that she must serve the Imperator unquestioningly. Such was the childhood of Tsubaki Yayoi.
Yes, that's right. I'm a daughter of the Yayoi family.
And there's your history lesson. Interesting tidbit about the inbreeding there. A heavy door stood before Tsubaki, the entrance to a shrine hidden beneath the Yayoi family home. Tsubaki found herself drawn to it.
We should be the ones who set the example for the rest of the duodecim. No, we must be the ones to set that example.
The room was dark. It was the first time Tsubaki had set foot there, but she knew what lay beyond the doors, deep within the innermost chambers of the shrine.
I'm sure Jin had his reasons for doing what he did.
Slowly, Tsubaki began to walk forward. It wasn't long before she found what she'd come for. Before Tsubaki were a pair of sturdy doors that protected whatever lay behind them with more than their own considerable bulk. Inlaid on the doors was the symbol of the Yayoi family. Tsubaki pulled out a small blade and drew across at the tip of her finger. felt a momentary prick of pain and caught her breath. A drop of blood slowly formed on her finger.
I'm sure Noelle has a perfectly good explanation, too. I just need to talk to her.
Tsubaki placed her hand atop the family emblem.
But...
As if possessed by some strange hunger, the emblem on the door quickly absorbed the blood from Tsubaki's finger. With a metallic thud, the door began to open.
what if everything Captain Hazama told me is true? What if Jin and Noelle... What if they really have turned their backs on the Imperator?
Tsubaki's mind was in turmoil.
No, it's okay. Even if they have, if I can just talk to them, I'm sure they'll understand. Even so, if they really have betrayed me, I'll have no choice but to kill them.
Her mind set, Tsubaki reached for the object behind the doors. A sudden sense of vertigo rushed over her, and Tsubaki placed a hand to her face to try and calm her suddenly throbbing head. She felt as though her strength was being drained out of her.
This is... the Izayoi?
She refused to let her grip weaken and felt her vision grow dark and blurry. Izayoi, one of the sealed weapons. This particular sword had belonged to the Yoi family for generations. It was known for its ability to steal light, even from the person who wielded it.
Let's go. To Kagutsuchi.
Now, what's... Oh, no, it's a sword. Okay. Yeah.
We are preparing to dock at the 13th hierarchical city of Kagutsuchi. Please gather your belongings and prepare to disembark.
Oh no! That's my stop!
Wake up. Tsubaki jerked awake. She drifted off sometime during the last hour and would likely have missed the port at Kagutsuchi. The announcement had woken her. Her nap had left her body feeling refreshed and focused, but her mind and emotions were anything but.
I should get some fresh air. Oh, it's cold out here.
Just want to take a good look at... I don't think we've ever seen Kagutsuchi from above. Or maybe we have. I don't know. There wasn't a soul in sight on the deck. Tsubaki wasn't surprised. It was nearly 42 degrees, but the wind made it feel closer to freezing. The rest of the passengers wouldn't have any reason to step outside when they could stay warm inside the ship.
So this is it. The 13th hierarchical city of Kagutsuchi. I can't believe it's incomplete. It looks so beautiful.
She'd seen pictures of it before, and reports and the like, but there was something about seeing the city in person took Tsubaki's breath away. The city was a living, breathing thing, and that was something no picture can convey.
So, this is where Jin and Noelle have gone.
And where everybody and their mother is going to. After filing the proper paperwork with the port authorities, Tsubaki finally set foot on the soil of Kagutsuchi. The sun had already set, the people were sparse, but she had expected as much. Tsubaki had landed at Port 5, which was used exclusively by the military.
Well then.
Her goals were clear enough, but she couldn't decide where to begin. Captain Hazama had told her that Jin and Noelle's actions had directly aided the criminal Ragna the Blood Edge. Having never been in Kagutsuchi before, Tsubaki knew she would have a difficult time finding them without knowing the local geography.
First, I should go to the local librarium office, then gather some information, and...
Mentally building a list of things she would need to do, Tsubaki had barely lifted her foot to set off in the direction of the librarium office when she heard a voice behind her.
Excuse me?
Hey Carl.
Huh?
Startled, Tsubaki had spun around to find a young boy dressed in purple. Towering behind him was a massive metal creature.
Nirvana?
Ah, so it seems you know my sister. Pardon me, but you're with the NOL, correct?
Are you...
The boy's face was familiar. Something about it Then suddenly she remembered, years ago at the academy.
Excuse me?
Child walking through the door was none other than one of the elite students from the elementary division, Carl Clover.
Yay! It's little Carl! Come on in!
The girl who lunched in was my roommate, Makoto Nania. Excuse me. She couldn't keep her hands off of young boys.
Miss Makoto, you're here? Of course! I'm always here!
Stop that, Makoto! You're scaring Carl! Is that you, Carl?
That voice...
Miss Tsubaki?
Carl's was not a face Tsubaki expected to see. It was not a face she had wanted to see either, as Carl had seemed to realize.
Ah, it is you after all. I thought I recognized your voice. It took me a second to remember whose it was.
It's been a while, Carl. I hoped we wouldn't have to meet each other under circumstances like these.
As expected from a wing of justice. So it seems you already know about me.
Yes, I do. I was surprised to hear you dropped out of the academy. I was worried about you. Once I enlisted, I heard that you'd become not just a vigilante, but one of the best, and that you were wielding the Nox Nictoris Nirvana.
That's not my sister's name.
Carl, I'll be frank with you. Right now, my top priority is to find and capture Ragna the Blood Edge. There's still time for you to do the right thing, Carl. Please, if you get rid of that Nox
Perhaps you might have some information that I need, Miss Tsubaki.
What?
The location of my father.
Really is Clover.
Oh, shit! Oh! Oh, I don't know why I didn't piece that together. Oh. Oh. Oh no. No. That's not good. Tsubaki remembered the incident outside of Captain Hosma's office and the strange conversation that had taken place afterwards. Was Carl?
So you do know?
She tried to hide her surprise, but too late. Tsubaki felt almost as though Carl could see right through her.
I'm looking for my father, Relius Clover. Miss Tsubaki, please tell me everything you might know about him.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense then. Shit. Yeah, so I'm heading towards the gag ending. I want to get that out of the way. So there are a couple ways to actually do it, but for the sake of seeing everything, we're gonna pick option 2. Tsubaki wasn't sure if telling him was really the right thing to do, but she had to make a choice.
I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Tsubaki had expected Carl to show some sort of emotion at her answer, frustration or disappointment, perhaps, but she saw nothing of the sort. If anything, he was almost smirking.
If you would like, though, I'd be happy to accompany you to the librarium office in Kagutsuchi.
Ah, I thought that'd be your response.
Carl?
Is it because it's a secret of the librarium? Or simply because you don't want to give the information to a vigilante like me?
No, that's not it. I know you're looking for your father, and I'd like to help you. I really would. But I just don't have the answers you're looking for.
You lie!
There was something about Carl's voice that didn't fit his size. Tsubaki gulped.
Miss Tsubaki, it's obvious that you're hiding something. You were thinking of a suitable response to put me off, were you not? It was easy enough to see. Isn't that right, sis?
What's wrong with you, Carl? You weren't anything like this back when...
Back when we were in the academy, were the words she meant to say, but they just wouldn't come.
I've had about enough of this. Miss Tsubaki, you're no better than any other adult.
Carl! What are you...
If you don't want to tell me, then I will just have to resort to different means to extract the answers from you.
That's right, Carl! I want to at least get one fight in today. It'll actually be 2 fights, but I at least want to get one fight in today. Oh, Rain.
1. Action!
Confess your sins.
Over here.
Counter!
Should... I need to be very careful when fighting with Tsubaki. Her bad ending is a little screwy, so I want to avoid using distortion stuff as much as possible.
I should have expected nothing less from a member of the Wings of Justice. Sis, are you okay?
Carl, you keep calling that machine your sister. Why? What's going on?
The briefest of moments, an image of Jin flashed in Tsubaki's mind.
Sis, I'm sorry about this. I want to run, but my feet, they're...
Carl, I'll let you go this time. I can turn a blind eye and pretend I never saw you. Just please, promise me you'll take care of those wounds.
You sound like you actually care, but... you're probably just going to try and take my sister from me as soon as I'm helpless.
All Tsubaki does is shake her head.
Huh? But please, Carl, be careful. The librarian is not as stupid as you would like to think.
I... understand. Why does each and every person I meet in Kagutsuchi have to be...
Huh?
No, it was nothing.
All right, let's find you a hospital.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Sis, are you okay? Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that. No, really, I'm fine. Let's get going.
Carl, he's gone. I wish I could do more for him, but I don't have much time myself. I need to hurry.
Tsubaki begins to walk once again, but each step is an effort.
Jin, there's so much on my mind. I feel like I'm gonna collapse under the weight of my own thoughts. Please be safe.
As she continued her way on her way to the librarian offices, Tsubaki's thoughts drift to Jin.
Of all the families in the Duodecim, the Yoyois have the longest history. As such, it has always been their duty to keep the 12 families together and the government functioning. My father, head of the Yoyoi house, was no exception. Looking back, though, I was a sheltered child. No, perhaps something even worse than simply sheltered. At the time, I was seldom allowed to leave the house, and even then, only with my father. Each time we left the house, it was to visit one of the other 12 families and the hierarchical city they governed. January was the Uski family, February, the Kisaragis. March was our family, and so on. Each month, Father and I would visit a different house. It was probably a meeting between the family leaders, or perhaps something more casual. I was a child, and I didn't know or care what they were doing. My father and his peers would drink their fine wines and expensive liquors and talk. They would talk forever, and I would be left alone. Some of the other families had children my age, but that was rarely the case. I had no choice but to try and find ways to pass the time by myself until my father had finished. Even so, there was something fresh about visiting so many different places. How many years had I been doing that? I'm not sure. At any rate, on the day in question, the rest of the Duodecim were scheduled to come and visit the Yayoi Manor. My father had been exceptionally busy preparing for this day for the past several weeks. I was outside, in our garden. Father and the other family heads were talking about adult things that I didn't understand. I played in the garden so that I wouldn't have to sit in a stuffy room and listen to adults discuss things that meant little to me. But that day,
Whoops.
for the first time, I met a boy who was close to my age.
But that didn't mean it was... I played in the garden so that I wouldn't have to sit in a stuffy room and listen to adults discuss things that meant little to me, but that didn't mean it was very much fun.
Who are you?
Huh?
Huh? Maybe he didn't hear me. Hi. Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Tsubaki Yayoi.
Oh, the girl from the Yayoi family, huh?
Uh-huh. Have you heard about me?
I heard there was only one child in the Yayoi family. A girl.
So what's your name?
Jin. Jin Kisaragi.
I know the Kisaragi Manor. I've been there with my father before. I don't think I ever met you before, though, Jinny the Kisaragi.
The Kisaragi family has a whole brood of children, so the fact that we've never met isn't surprising.
Oh, I didn't know that. What are you doing here, Jinny the Kisaragi?
I'm attending the Conference of Leaders. It seems that I've been nominated to be the next head of the Kisaragi family.
Name what? I don't get it, Jinny the Kisaragi.
If you don't understand, then it's nothing you need to worry about. More importantly, hasn't anyone ever taught you how to speak? You know, politely?
Huh?
You see, you're younger than me, so I'm telling you to show me some respect.
Oh, my father tells me I need to be polite to everyone, too. He gets mad at me when I don't. I'm sorry.
It's nothing you need to apologize for. If you could just stop calling me that.
Well, what should I call you?
Well, I mean, my name.
Then you want me to call you Jin?
I meant my family name.
Jin! Jin!
Whatever works for you.
Yay! That means you're my brother now, right?
Where did that come from?
Okay, you have to promise. You gotta promise to be my brother forever and ever, alright?
Promise? Fine, whatever.
Really? Then cross your heart.
Huh?
You know, cross your heart.
Interesting. I thought Jin was adopted into the Kisaragi family. And maybe that's still the case. Huh. And then this whole interaction, too. I guess that's what she meant by she thought of him as a brother ever since they were younger. Also, Jin's older. I thought they were the same age. Go figure.
Cross my heart and hope to die. I promise that I will never lie. And if my promise ever does go, I give to you my eternal soul.
Adorable.
There were reports that Jin was around here somewhere. And pretty recently, too.
Tsubaki had looked up to see a shadow standing before her. Instead of getting the drop on her quarry, it seems that the inverse was true.
Ah, the NOL-0 Squadron. The Wings of Justice. So, what does one of the librarium's trash collectors want with me?
Jin!
Don't tell me. Tsubaki? That's the sealed Armigus. He's a Yoi.
Jin. Major Kisaragi. You have been accused of insubordination countless times, and there are even instances of attempts at desertion on your record. These actions cannot be overlooked, war hero or not. I'm sure you know why I'm here.
Tsubaki, do you have any idea what that weapon is?
Of course I do. It belonged to my ancestors, and in their name, I must put an end to your unconscionable behavior.
To even carry a weapon like that. Are you telling me you value the NOL? The Duodecim's pretense of justice that much?
Jin, this is not a request from the Yayoi family, or the Duodecim, or even the Librarium. It is a request from me. There's still time. Please, go back to the Librarium. I don't want to hurt you, Jin.
You are concerned for my well-being?
Jin, please, promise me. If I beat you, you'll go back.
And if I refuse?
Then I won't stop until you accept!
I am going to show this fight, even though I have to lose this fight in order to get to the gag ending, because next time I'm gonna have to go back to Carl's fight anyway, for a different reason. So, well, next time, the episode after next, because the next episode will be the gag ending. So, I'm trying to do this as much as I can. Also, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Here! 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 Die! Dissipate!
I'm impressed.
Hail! Die! Dissipate!
My shield! I'm impressed. Jin,
Back off!
how can this be?
That should be it.
So this is Orient Town. What a lively place.
Okay,
How many times do I have to tell you, you only use vinegar for the dumplings, got it? And no.
alright, Drunk Lychee, we'll get to you next time. The next episode, we just go right into the gag. I thought there would be some sort of transition or something, but no, we're jumping right in. Why am I even surprised anymore? Anyway, I'll see you guys next time for the gag reel for Tsubaki's story. And then after that, we head back to the beginning, because in order to get the bad ending, there's some very specific things that need to happen. And I'll explain that when the time comes. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.